How do we find our path in life? Which path is the true one for us? Is the path we are currently on the true one for us? And how do we know whether or not it is? Now that I've given you all an existential crisis, today we'll be taking a look at a film which tries to answer this very question.
Directed by Cage Chen, who shares writing credit with Ting Zhang and Hao Feng Zhu. Monk Comes Down the Mountain serves as a modern classic martial arts film, very much reminiscent of Shaw Brothers in terms of story and message, but with modern filmmaking techniques and standards.
But just how well do these modern techniques gel with the timeless lessons that this film seeks to preach? Well, let's take a closer look and find out. But first, do not forget to like, comment and subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a new video.
The film centers on Axia, played by Bao King Wang, an orphan left at a Taoist temple as a baby. He is told to leave the temple when he proves he can fend for himself, coming to work at a pharmacy. But after his new master is killed by his self-serving brother, Axia turns to murder to avenge his master, but in so doing, turns from the way, and so seeks redemption for his misdeeds, eventually finding a new master in the form of a kung fu master, played by Aaron Kwok. But after this new master is killed in a feud with another master, played by Yuen,
Christ, there's no wonder that temple got rid of this kid. The Angel of Death has nothing on him.
with the help of his master's training brother, played by Chang Chen, it's up to them to put an end to the dishonorable master and his slimy son. Will the cycle of vengeance continue? Which style of kung fu will prevail? And will our intrepid protagonist find his destiny?
Well, we'll be sure to find out, but on the path to destiny, obstacles and hurdles will always arise, such as our antagonist. That's just typical, isn't it? You go years not seeing Yuen in anything, only to then cover 2 films that he's in the span of only a few months.
And once again, Yuen is on top form. Instead of playing the stoic master or the comedic side character, he's instead here playing the vengeful villain.
What sort of villain doesn't do well without a great introduction? So let's take a look at his.
The scene we're looking at today serves as the beginning of the second act. Following the death of his old master and the loss of balance, Axia is lost and looking for direction, until this intrepid student, played by Danny Kwok Chan, comes to the pharmacy asking for medicinal wine as a gift for his kung fu master. Feeling this may be a new path for him, Axia sneaks after him to check out this master and see what they're all about. Chan makes another actor from Kung Fu Hustle 2, having played the Axe Gang lieutenant there.
My headcanon is that after that film, he actually left the Axe Gang and went to Yuen to learn martial arts in order to find the true path.
There is logic in what he says.
Upon receiving the gift of the wine, his master goes and strikes his senior student several times in the face, before delivering a jump back kick, admonishing him for letting his guard down. But not before we get an impressive 540 kick for some extra style points. So already we see the ruthless teaching of our antagonist, setting up what makes him so unscrupulous. His master breaks the wine cask, but Shan remains stoic, refusing to be riled.
I do wonder though how pissed Axia was after that. I mean, it takes time to ferment that kind of wine.
The two square up to spar as Chan flies in to deliver a strike, but Yuen blocks the first strike, only to be hit with a follow-up punch. 2 more punches hit Yuen, who follows it up by pinning Chan's arm and throttling him, again showing his ferocity, as well as his lack of sympathy towards those under his care.
Jesus, this guy does not mess around. And here I am stressing if I hit my students too hard in sparring.
Chan gets out of the hold by grappling Yuen's wrist and following up with a roundhouse to the head. Yuen breaks the hold before Chan delivers a side kick that sends his master flying. But when Chan moves in for the kill, Yuen moves behind him with a wired assist.
Or maybe he does actually have secret martial kung fu mystical powers and none of us even knew.
Throwing Chan and literally dancing on his body.
He's practicing for later.
But Chan kicks him off and goes to deliver an overhead flying kick, which is blocked by Yuen, leading into a flying side kick to the chest.
Is it a flying kick if you're getting assistance from a wire?
Chan follows up with several hook punches.
I think the most mystical part about this is that they can sustain so many heavy blows to the head and just walk it off.
Yuen blocks a 7th hook and kicks Chan away before demonstrating his mastery of the high ground. Chan elects to try it as the two move onto an overhead wire, as the two engage hand to hand. The metatextual design of this segment is hilarious as they perform wire fu on a wire. Yuen, however, falls off the wire and Chan saves his master, proving himself to be an honourable man. Unfortunately, his master is not as honourable, as he kicks his student to the ground and proceeds to bloody him up when he refuses to yield.
I wonder what would happen if this guy and John Kreese teamed up.
But as his master moves to leave his student as a bloody mess, Surprise! Shock! Chan is an airbender!
Considering how Yuen demonstrated Ba Gua Zhang in Kung Fu Hustle, my theory is getting more and more evidence the more this film goes on.
Chan explains that he was learning this technique in secret, to which his master responds that this qualifies him to lead the school after he is gone.
Well, what an honour! And with such a stoic, humble, fair person as this, I'm sure there is a great future ahead for—
Psych! Yuen kills this guy for, quote, trying to steal the technique from him, and states that the position of leadership is secured for his son.
Well, he seems like a level-headed guy to learn from, right, Axia?
Within this fight, it is clearly demonstrated how unhinged, ruthless, uncaring, petty, and dishonorable this guy is, while also showing how powerful and skillful he is, demonstrating what level of threat he is to people that oppose him. We later learn that Yuen's character acts the way he does because his own father chose Kwok's character to lead the school, and gave him the wisdom of the family technique, and so is blinded by rage and jealousy, leading to him wanting to destroy this blight on his family's legacy, and reclaim what he sees as his.
His was a path where he wanted to travel in one direction but was barred.
His story is pretty similar to Tai Lung, wanting the honor of carrying on the ways of his teachers, but not being qualified in some way, and instead of looking inward or seeking some new path, instead it's a round of the blame game, and trying to take what he wants by force.
The more you take, the less you have.
How does this impact our protagonist?
Like Yuen's character, he is tempted by anger and vengeance, but unlike Yuen, who gave in wholesale to such a path, Axia is repentant, and seeks to change for the better, coming to the guidance of a new master who teaches him perspective and patience, comparing life's problems with sweeping a floor. There will always be more to do, more messes to clean up and sweep away, and so you do what you are called upon, and not stop, just because it is time-consuming or takes effort.
Certainly an important moral, but does the rest of the film support it?
As I said, this film serves as a modern version of Shaw Brothers style films, with great action and morality about life and virtue. But much like those Shaw Brothers films, the story does not always flow, at times feeling like it is going from one plot point to another because of necessity rather than because of that being the natural progression. But in that way, in this film, it becomes similar to life. Not everything flows perfectly. There are blocks and hurdles and times where you need to circle back and start over. So in that way, the film is true to life, but then again, film is not life.
I know, I was surprised too.
If the film had had one or two more rewrites, then maybe the story could have been more streamlined or could have flowed a bit better. But otherwise, it just feels a bit clunky in places.
Thank you for watching this week's video, and in the comments let me know if you've seen this film and what your take is on it. Did you like the film? Did you hate it? What are your thoughts? But until next time, thank you all for watching, and peace be with you.